Hi, so today's video for Nourish and Flow and Meet the Therapists and Practitioners, who I am going to talk to now is someone who knows all about how to breathe. As you know, in Nourish and Flow this year, our theme is Eat, Sleep, Breathe, something that we all do every single day without thinking about it, but probably not to our full potential. So in keeping with that, I'd like to introduce you to Niall. Niall, hi, how are you?
I'm very well, and thank you very much for having me.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Thanks a million. So Niall, tell everyone about what you're going to be doing at Nourish and Flow this year.
Yeah, well, I think we'll start with this idea of how important the breath is. Just before we were chatting, and I was asking you this question of, if we stopped eating, how long we'd last for. So if we stopped eating, we'd last for a few weeks. And if we stopped drinking, we'd last for a few days. And if we stopped breathing, it'll be all over in minutes. So in terms of how important breathing is to us, that's all we kind of need to know. Now, thankfully, our breathing is mostly something we don't have to think about. But when we put our focus and our attention on our breathing, there are deep, long-lasting benefits that we can get from just changing our breathing in a specific way to get very specific benefits. So at our event in August, we're going to be looking at using our breath to change how we feel and to change how we think, and using our breath to deal with the many, many difficult situations that we face in our day-to-day life. Stress, anxiety, worry, uncertainty, fear, all these things that we face all the time. And we're going to learn how to use our breath to deal with them.
Brilliant. That's super. And Niall, I suppose what I didn't say at the beginning of the introduction is the particular breathing technique that you use is the Wim Hof method.
Yeah, so I'm a Wim Hof method instructor. So the Wim Hof method is a very simple combination of breathing, gradual exposure to the cold, and then using the breathing and the cold to really sharpen the mind and to bring about great focus. And the Wim Hof method, the results of the Wim Hof method, such as the benefits drastically improving your health, and improving your immune system at will, improving the strength of the cardiovascular system, including the strength of the body, and also improving our happiness and our health as well. So these are all scientifically proven benefits of the Wim Hof method, including other things, including balancing your hormones, making the blood more alkaline, and all these great things. When you combine them together, it just makes us feel great, and that's what we'll be covering as well.
It sounds amazing, and as you say, something that we do every day, every second of the day, without even thinking about it, and go through, moments of stress and anxiety and worry and lack of sleep and not knowing. And I know a lot of people, myself included, not realizing that we have this resource here literally waiting for us to discover and to use in order to get these amazing benefits that you speak of. I was first introduced to the Wim Hof method by a friend, and when I watched the video, one of Wim Hof's videos, I was absolutely amazed at what can be achieved by just utilizing your breath. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's something that I wanted to try myself. I haven't made it to one of your full workshops yet, but I mean, I think having you down at Nourish and Flow is really, really exciting for a lot of people, because I think Wim Hof is, he's very in the media right now, especially with immune system requirements and things like that, that people need to boost their immune system. And by, again, utilizing something that we all have is amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about Wim Hof and the science that he has done to kind of show that this breathing is so effective and can be of a huge benefit to people?
Yeah, Wim Hof is an amazing character, and for many years, for maybe 30 years, he toiled in the wilderness by himself, practicing this breathing and using the cold, and he felt that it could change his immune system and improve his immune system, and he felt it could reduce stress, but no one was listening to him. So Wim went about proving in all these strange type and wonderful types of ways how this worked. So he started doing these world records. So at one stage he held about 25 world records for doing things like being encased in ice for 2 or 3 hours, running and climbing and walking up Mount Everest just in a pair of shorts, running marathons in the desert with no water, and all these amazing things. But he would describe them as circus acts, and he was doing them in order to get the scientific community's attention. So eventually they said, oh, look, this man can run up Mount Everest in a pair of shorts. And he says he can boost his immune system at will, which is impossible, but we better bring him in and have a look. So one of the landmark research studies was in Radboud University in Holland, where they brought women in and said, okay, you say that you can, voluntarily, willfully improve your immune system. So they injected women with a form of E. coli, and using these very simple breathing techniques, he was able to breathe in a way that suppressed the E. coli, and there was no side effects. He wasn't feeling sick. He had done the impossible. And up to that point, we were taught to have no control over our immune system. But of course, the next logical question to ask is, okay, but you're the freak that can run up Mount Everest. Of course you can do something like this. Normal people can't do it. So the second big study then, they took a bunch of normal people. Wim took them for a couple of days and taught them the very basics of the Wim Hof method that we cover in our workshops. They brought them back into the university hospital. They injected them with a form of E. coli. They were able to fight off all the symptoms as well. And that was the point at which our understanding of what we're capable of was turned upside down.
Yeah.
And since then, the Wim Hof method has gone on to proven to massively reduce inflammation, to reduce stress. Now the research is looking at very specific problems and diseases on the Wim Hof method. So it's great. Wim is always talking about that he doesn't want any speculation about the benefits. He wants them all to be proven.
Yeah, and it was those facts that you speak about there when I saw in the video documentary that I watched on him that actually made me go wow. And even you speaking about it there again has made me get goosebumps of how much control we actually have over our health and our wellness, and how much we are shadowed from that by thinking that we don't have that control, if you understand me, that we've been kind of brought up in a environment whereby we're very much at the mercy of what's happening around us, whereby actually if we change our thoughts and change our even our breathing, that we can have such a massive profound physiological effect on our health and our well-being. It's phenomenal, and we do it every single day. So this is why I'm so excited for you to come down to Nourish and Flow this year to share with all the people who are going to be there this amazing resource that they have to tap into. So thanks so much for agreeing to come down.
You're very welcome.
So maybe sorry, maybe just can we just have a little chat about the workshop and what people can expect to achieve? Because I know you do a series of different types of workshops and things like that as well. So obviously, because this is quite a large group setting, the type of workshop that you're going to do is going to be different than if it was a smaller group setting. So can you tell us a little bit about what you would like to cover out at the workshop?
Yeah, so we're going to take time to really explore how each of us can take this incredible power that we have, which is the breath, and how we can use it in different ways to bring about different benefits. So we're going to do a series of very simple breathing exercises with everybody so they can start to feel this power, this potential in them. And we're also going to practice them. We're going to have different ways in which we're going to put people into scenarios where they have to be able to breathe in a certain way to deal with the scenario. And as well, one of the ultimate ways of practicing our breathing is to put ourselves into the cold. So obviously with a big crowd like this, people aren't going to be going into full ice baths, but we're going to have some ice and some water for people to put their extremities in, hands or feet, so people can feel the shock of the cold and ice, and then how to deal with it by using the breath. And it mightn't seem like much putting your hands or your feet into ice cold water, but anybody who's walked on the beach or put their hands in the sea knows that it's very, very painful, and we learn a lot. The cold can be an amazing teacher. So we're going to be using the breath and the cold to learn a lot about ourselves and the potential and power that we have.
Yeah, That sounds amazing. And I totally relate to what you're saying there in terms of getting into cold water as opposed to putting your hand or your feet in it. Because in, say, it was February this year, I was down away with my sister and friends down in Cork. And we decided, right, we're going to do this and we're going to get in for a swim in February. And we did. And the whole, and the breath is gone. But then once you stick with it and you stay in, it actually is beautiful. And we enjoyed it. Now we were like lobsters when we got out, but it was nice because we had a nice hotel to run to and get into the jacuzzi. So that made up for it. But then in the sunny weather, earlier, like in April, we were doing a little obstacle course outside with the kids. And one of the obstacles that we had to do, or one of the endurance things, was to stand in a basin of iced water for as long as we could. And I could not stand in that basin for longer than like 30 seconds, but I could stay in the ocean for way longer once I got in and regulated my temperature. So it's probably harder to just dip your hand in or dip your foot in than get all the way in. So I think
it absolutely is. The way to look at it is like this, that if there was a flame here and you put your hand to the flame, without even thinking, the nervous system pulled your hand back out of the danger because it feels the pain. So when we put our extremities, our hands or our feet into the cold water, the pain is so intense because the body wants to pull out, but you're forcing it to stay in. So the body's sending these messages to the brain, this is so painful, get out, get out. And you're kind of fighting against this instinct. When we submerge ourselves in the water, the body is in a different mode. It knows it's in a different environment. You can't just jump out of the sea. So it changes. It starts to adapt. It goes into emergency mode to deal with this. So we'll talk about all that and the implications of all that when we get down in August.
That's amazing. It'll be great. Oh, I can't wait. That's so brilliant. And in our chat earlier on, you have a really nice offer as well, and a nice surprise gift or prize, would we say, that you're going to offer at the festival. So do you want to tell us a little bit what that is?
Yes. So when we're finished putting our hands or our feet in the ice and we're kind of warming back up afterwards, we're going to give away 2 tickets to one of my full workshops. So we have workshops up and down Ireland, and there at these Wim Hof Method fundamentals workshops, you learn all the core skills of the Wim Hof method. We go deep into the breathing, we go deep into the movement and the breath, and of course we learn how to fully immerse ourselves in the cold, how to deal with that, how to find peace in the cold, and then the best bit, how to warm up afterwards. So they'll be given away to 2 lucky people.
That is absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted with that, and thank you so much. So I think that kind of probably wraps up. I think that gives everyone a good idea of what to expect from your session on Sunday in Nourish and Flow. So thanks a million. If you haven't already booked your ticket for Nourish and Flow, make sure you hop on now. You will see a link in our bio on how to go in and book your tickets. And Niall is on Sunday morning. And as he said there, he's quite generously offered to give some tickets away to anyone who has attended the festival. And we'll do the draw on Sunday when everyone's there, after we torture them and put them into ice. And we'll definitely warm these up afterwards with some nice lunch. So I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Niall, for your time. Neil, sorry. And I will see you in August.
Yeah, see everybody in August.
Thanks a million.